Last Sunday, Dave, the man who was working at my house the day I had that accident and fell off the ladder last month, he came to see me. And I was blown away when he suddenly started speaking to me in a French accent. My husband in spirit is French. And he said, Jamie, you're crazy. Well, Jean used to tease me like that. And Jean was using this very loving man as his open vessel to let me know he was close to me. I had another similar experience this past week, but I need to give you a little backstory about it. My surgeon told me he wanted me to begin physical therapy and start bending my knee without bearing weight. The Cleveland Clinic physical therapy was booked for 2 weeks, so I was sent a visiting physical therapist. And he told me to bend my leg as much as I could. Because I had been a dancer, within a day, I was bending my knee to 90 degrees. And he was blown away and he said, just keep doing what you're doing. So 2 weeks later, this past week, I finally saw the Cleveland Clinic physical therapist. And when I told her I was bending to a 90-degree angle, she freaked out. And she told me the surgeon's physical therapy order was specific, no more than a 30-degree bend for the first 2 weeks. And then she went on to tell me all the extreme dangers of what I had been instructed to do. She said before the bones are more healed, excessive bending can tear out the screws and cause the surgery to fail. And I was just sick and scared when she told me that. Clearly, the visiting physical therapist didn't bother to read the surgeon's physical therapy order. So when I came home, I just burst into tears from fear and anger over what had happened. And I was crying. As I was crying, my aide came outside and I was just blown away by what she said to me. And these were the exact words my husband used to say whenever I cried. And nobody but Jean has ever said these words to me, and nobody knew that he said this. It was just something I heard him say. She said, please don't cry. It will give you a headache. I knew immediately that Jean was using her as his open vessel. Now, my next example is really an elaborate example of how my husband has guided my aide, Curleen, to be his open vessel and watch over me. To back up, my aide, Curleen, is the sweetest soul. She's spiritual, she's religious, and I knew soon after meeting her that my husband sent her to me so that I could help her to heal a physical problem that she has. But she also works part-time for hospice. And when she told me this, I was so blown away because I know my husband wants hospice to know about the transdimensional grief resolution method so that we can help those who are leaving their bodies become less afraid about their imminent bodily departure, and also to help their loved ones be less afraid because they'll know we just step out of the body and we're right together again. So she told me that she has been unable to get pregnant. And then another day, she told me that she has had severe acne and it resolved with aloe vera. So I went to sleep and I received a download that she has polycystic ovary syndrome. And the main symptoms of this syndrome are weight gain, especially on the stomach, insulin resistance in 70% of the cases, high levels of male hormones, infertility, painful periods, excess body hair and facial growth, facial hair growth, and cysts on the ovaries in also 70% of the patients. So then next day I asked her how her periods were, and as I suspected, they were abnormal and painful. And then I asked her a few more questions, including whether she has cysts on her ovaries, and she said yes. So it's clear she has undiagnosed PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, or her gynecologist just didn't know what to do or how to treat her. Now, I had recently read a medical journal that said low thyroid can cause polycystic ovary syndrome and that fixing the thyroid can reverse PCOS. So I asked her about her thyroid, and she said it's low. So it became clear to me now that my husband sent her to me so that I would help her heal. And I was thinking that since I was a young child, I was called to heal others and nothing's changed. And then I heard my husband tell me that in exchange for my generosity, she was going to help me when I'm very old and need care when I'm ready to leave my body. Now, I didn't tell her what I heard my husband say, but a few seconds later, she walked up to me and said that she received a message from God that she is supposed to help me when I'm old, and she will do it from her heart. Wow. So my husband sends people to me who need my help, and in exchange, he blesses me by moving them to act on his behalf to ensure that I'm cared for in his name. And remember, your loved ones are sending you open vessels all the time. So pay attention to people who speak words to you that your loved one used to say. That's a clear indication that your loved one is using this person as his or her open vessel, someone that he is using or she is using to love you on his or her behalf. If you'd like me to help you recognize the open vessels in your life and also take you to the next level and help you deepen your relationship with your loved one in spirit so you can hear him or her directly, so that you can dialogue directly, reach out to me at askdrlove.com/grief relief, and I'll help you jumpstart your reconnection so you can transform this grief that's weighing you down into the joy that only comes from reconnecting. That's askdrlove.com/grief relief and schedule your discounted session today. See you there.